Welcome to Android Coliseum Hangout 133. It's September 23rd, 2015. How are you guys?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Cold. Very cold here.
It is.
We'll start with our usual weather report, going from east to west. Siobhan, what's the weather like there?
Beautiful. Perfect. 23 degrees during the day. A bit chillier in the morning. Can't complain.
How about you, Martin? Are you still having really hot weather in Ottawa?
Actually, no. It's about the same as Siobhan. I'd say it was hovering about 26 today.
And Ryan?
We're starting to cool off, I think, just like you were saying. I left the windows open in the house when I left for work today, and I came home, and it was just chill. You're like, ooh, that's going to be closed. You know, turn off the fans. It was not exactly warm. I mean, it's still like, I think, 19 degrees or something.
Okay, well, it was freezing here today. And, that'd be 0. And I think it topped out at, it felt pretty nice, so I'm thinking it maybe topped out at 14. So,
Wesh.
yes.
That just sucks.
On Saturday, it's supposed to be 2 degrees with a high of 14. Oh, and Monday, 1 degree with a high of 9. This is why we're not staying here forever. My snow tires are going on the weekend.
No, not that really.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yes. So let's go to happier topics and talk about Android, because clearly I live in a depressing place. I need to live at your house. Any of you guys in the whole world, except maybe the art. Okay, so the first thing up on our dock is a Google event on September 29th. Who's going to talk about that?
I can chat about that. So, yeah, we had heard that was original a rumor that this was the date this was coming out, and I do believe this is also the same date that HTC is going to have an event as well, right? So, but now it's official. They have the invites have gone out. So what we're going to see at this event, obviously, I mean, I can probably do this with some amount of confidence that we're going to see a new Nexus device. And if the constant stream of all these, rumors and leaks and press renders and everything that are out already, we know what we're going to see tomorrow. We do know where we're going to see probably this new Chromecast that they're talking about. So it looks like version 2 of the Chromecast. There was a leak again that showed up a little more colorful, which I don't know why they needed to make this really colorful, a little more attractive looking device when it's behind your TV. It's nothing you're ever going to see ever. But a new refresh is going to be nice because actually it was out for dinner today, and I was talking with my wife's aunt from the States, and she was asking, I cut cable. What should I be getting? I heard about Chromecast. I've heard about Roku. What's your take on it? So people have heard about it. Like the people I would not expect to be techie people have heard about Chromecast and stuff. So I think it's really reached that mainstream kind of realm now. So it'd be cool.
I'm always amazed at when I look on Google now, the places that are actually publishing tech news, Refinery 29, which is a beauty site. And more. Fashion and all that stuff. And Christianity Today, I keep getting that up. And they always have a bunch of tech news, and I'm going, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I get those as well. They have the best articles.
They're well written.
Like on the Google Now stream thing, right?
Yeah.
And they're really well written.
Yeah.
So, why not read them? So it's not surprising that your aunt or, a wide range of people have heard about this stuff because it is being covered fairly widely.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Same here in my family. My brother-in-law said, yeah, I'm hooked on the Chromecast, and they want to get one for my father-in-law, and that's not even me pushing anymore. It's other people telling my husband, yeah, it's the best. When I was pushing to buy it, I got some resistance because...
It's an Apple thing here.
Yes, but we do use the Apple TV a lot more now, I have to say. Sorry. It's just connected, and I have everything on there. So.
Yeah, it's kind of like we have a Chromecast, and it does funny things to our amp. The HDMI does, so we don't have it plugged in all the time. But Fred will use the PS3, but I'll use the Chromecast. So, there's so many options now. It's really hard to button down one.
Yeah, I love it, and some people complain that you have to control it from a device, but for me, the device is like a remote. You need a remote anyways.
Yeah.
I just keep my phone on the coffee table, and I use it as a remote, so there's no big difference, for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's move on. The Galaxy Tab 2 was released last week. I was kind of hoping to have it then, but I have it now. So this is, I bought it. I buy everything. Because I don't like asking for stuff. So it's been really interesting. One thing I really, like Ryan was saying, everything seems to be going square, which for me is not that intuitive. I have to say, maybe because of the square, it feels a little more solid. Like, it definitely feels lighter, yet more solid. But one thing that I really find about it is that I feel like I have sort of 3/4 of a tablet for my home screen because it's wider. So I have ended up putting another launcher, side launcher on it rather than having any icons along the bottom. And with my tablets, I usually do have icons along the bottom. Having said that, it's great for reading. It is a little wider. Video is weird, but when you can hold it that close, it doesn't matter, I guess, that it's a little smaller. But it is weird.
No, it's 8-inch. Is it 8 or 8
Yeah,
and a half?
it's the 8-inch.
Okay.
The thing that I don't like about it, and I'm not sure if this is a Samsung thing or an app thing, but I noticed it when I had the 10-inch S last year as a tester. When you are reading a PDF and you go lateral, like I was reading, in that case, I was reading comics, and instead of just having bigger comics, it put more pages on it, and it's like, it's really annoying.
We're using PDF reader, or we're using like
I think I was using the comic. I might have been using the Marvel app because we got free Marvel comics. This time I'm using a PDF reader to read a book from my course, and it's doing the same thing. I just zoom in and out. It's not a big deal. It's just kind of...
See, that's kind of what I liked. I like a 16:9. It is more like a sheet of paper, right? So I read a book, it looks like a page of a book. If I turn it sideways, I can have 2 pages of the book, right?
Right.
On the square, I don't. To me, everybody keeps saying that's how it's supposed to look on the square one, and I just don't. To me, I don't get the aspect.
I never read it.
OCD.
I never read it in landscape. So, and I find actually for reading books on portrait, it is very comfortable. So that part is fine. Anyways, as it goes on, like it's a really nice tablet. It takes good pictures. When I take pictures with my tablet, it is usually in good lighting. So that's not a problem. It has all the different bells and whistles that Samsung includes for the camera app. Really nice, brilliant screen. It's nice.
Okay.
And I really like, and for me, I'm just going to say that I wasn't going to update, except I needed more memory on board. I kept running out of memory. So I did upgrade because it has the 32. So
32, I think these days, has to be.
It's really your minimum.
It has to be a
Especially
minimum these days.
You put any games on there, and you kind of, or magazines, because now magazines are all interactive as well.
Well, and I'm thinking, like I said, if you're doing books, like I can't remember, I'm trying to remember what my comic book reader used to use was. Actually, I should probably go download again because I would download all the Image comics, right? I would get Walking Dead, Invincible, all those things. So like each good comic, if it's a good high quality, the CBR files were a couple hundred megs each, right? So, if I put 10 episodes or 10, books on there, that's a gig or two, right? So.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess for people that are always using cloud apps and stuff like that, you may not find you feel the pinch, but even that phone that was coming out that was going to be a cloud app phone had 32 on board. So, there is sort of a minimum that you need. But that's it, and I did do a first impressions review, so that's up on the website. And let's move on. The Huawei watch is on sale for $99 for a watch that connects to your phone. What do you guys think?
I mean, as much as it's nice, at $4.99, it's not nice enough to want it.
No.
And on top of that, it's still the same technology as what we currently have in the first gen. So why would I pay $4.99? Yeah, exactly. Oh wait, the straps looks nice.
See, at least in the States, if you were to buy it on Amazon, not only it ranged at Amazon in the States from $350 US, which is pretty. I mean, at 28 cents on the dollar right now, that's still like $4.30, $4.20 around there. But then they had, I think it was 27 different variants depending on which strap you get, which bezel.
It's actually $4.65 Canadian dollars. $3.50.
Yeah, remember, we have pesos right now.
Yeah, we're really sucking wind right now.
Yeah.
And I'm old enough to remember the last time we sucked wind like this.
I remember that. I remember it was 50 cents almost on the dollar at that point.
Yeah.
That was terrible. Anyways, but just at least there's not that many options in the Play Store. But at least we can now order it for those who do want it. I know Derek Ross is in love with his. Was it the Huawei he got?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the Huawei, so. And it does look pretty premium. So, I mean, those people who buy the premium watches anyways, this sort of matches in line.
Regular premium watches cost around that amount.
Oh, yeah. That's not even a premium watch.
Not the super premium, but if you go to duty free and you want to get a nice watch,
I suppose, yes.
The price range. So, I guess if you want it to be smart as well, you just go for that watch. But I just don't know why it needs to be that expensive, especially when it comes from China, and we know that it costs them a lot less to make. So
just a bit.
It'd be interesting to see if it was cheaper in a duty free. Like if we'll ever get these in duty free.
Be nice.
How much would you say?
Well, Savon's our travel expert.
I would still not pay more than.
But you can check the price out for us. That's all.
Yeah, but they usually don't have those. It's a very niche market, and we're lucky if they even have it at Best Buy at this point.
Yeah, I suppose. Okay, so let's move on. Starbucks. Ryan's going to talk about that. You guys into Starbucks?
I'm not a Starbucks fan, and even though I put this topic on there, but I did get last Christmas I got a bunch of Starbucks gift cards, and one of those things I almost gave it to my wife. I thought, there actually is a Starbucks near my work. Maybe I'll go try it. Even though I don't drink coffee, I'll go get a hot chocolate. So one of these days, and then with the app, I'm like, you know what? For the tech guy, I'm gonna try the app out and put the card on the app and. It was kind of neat, except for when I go to, they don't scan, but there's a couple in the store you can go, I'll just pay, they'll show you, and they'll scan it, and then you can do it, and then you can choose to tip them or whatever on the app, which is kind of cool. So the idea being now is that you can now, in the States, pre-order your drinks. So I could be like, I'm going to go for a coffee. I'm going to place an order, boop, 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 and walk to there and pick it up. Be ready for it when I get there, probably, or whatever. Canada, we don't have that yet, but they say it is definitely coming. But it was just kind of neat. I thought that's kind of a cool thing. I mean, to be able to say that, because didn't the Timmy's app was supposed to have something like that?
I wish. If Timmy's had it, it will be perfect for me.
There was a Timmy's Run app, I thought there was supposed to be.
They have a good app, and you can add your card and pay with the app. So they do have good functionality, but not the order in advance. That's new, I guess.
Yeah, I thought there was something like you can take an order, like everybody's going around, and you can add their gift cards into your order or something. I can't remember what it was, but anyway, yeah. Coming soon. So keep your eyes out. If you're
Anyways, at my TVs, they know me. They just see me and they prepare my order. So.
yeah, it's just.
That's really good.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Right.
They just see me and they punch it in. They don't need to talk even. In the morning, perfect.
Yeah, I tend to go to second cup, so.
Yeah, same here.
And that's kind of a Canadian, I see.
Like second cup, Rich Head, Planet Coffee. I mean, just Planet Coffee, just because they plainly use French press for everything they have. I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to that.
Well.
Anyways.
Okay. Well, we hit on Samsung once, and we're just going to talk a bit again. Samsung is looking at having a lease phone deal, just like Apple does. And I don't know. Like, I don't lease cars because I feel like I should own one. That isn't really true. But, yeah, I don't know. What would you guys do? Would you, Martin, lease one?
You know what? If Samsung went that way and I wanted to try a device without actually buying it, I think that might be the best solution, especially because Samsung keeps producing all these devices that are going all over the freaking place. I'd like to put my hands on every one of them and just hey, yay!
Well, I think that if there was no term, like if you could trade it anytime you wanted, that would definitely be awesome.
And
but I don't know if that's their intent.
See, if Samsung,
would you be locked into? Because remember, Samsung announces the Galaxy S line, and then 4 months later they do the Galaxy Note line. Can you then swap it up for a Note, then back?
Well, I'm just wondering that.
And then back to whatever the terms. And then because what's the cost for the Apple one? It's $32 a month, right? If you think about if you paid for a full year.
That's really expensive.
It is, yeah.
It includes their Apple Care.
Yeah, whatever. That's still really expensive.
So let's say it's $380 a year, give or take a couple of dollars here and there. So if you bought a $700 phone, I know Apple's a little more expensive. So if you bought a $700 phone, could you sell it for you should be able to get about $400 for it. So I mean, you might break even at $30 a month at the end of a year. But the thing is, you probably have to turn that phone back in. You can't.
Yeah, or buy it out. One of the two.
Yeah, you're not.
That's how leasing usually works.
You're not going to be offered the opportunity to go and sell it for $400 to recoup. So otherwise, you're still out. I think a little bit on that. Well, no, you're not out because.
So, Siobhan, you had a comment way back then.
Just to say that some people can't afford buying a phone, and they just can't afford paying the few $100s, not even on a contract, because, for example, for the iPhone 6, they want $350 with contract, and some people can't even afford that, so maybe they rather pay every month.
See, but that's right. I mean, the finance guy in me comes out and says, if you can't afford to pay $650 for a phone, $700 for a phone, how are you going to afford $30 a month for 12 months?
Right, but not everybody thinks that way.
I know, and the cash.
The same with cars. I also buy cars. I own it because when you calculate the lease price, it's just not worth it. So I rather have a car that's 2 years older, but at least I own it and sell it after. And
Martin, what were you gonna say?
And this is where I have a different view on this. I'm sure, if you take a lease, at the end you have paid way more than you should. But here's the thing. Most people are able to afford between $30 and $90 per leased item. But they're not available to pay upfront that entire amount because they don't have it. But if you give them a lease, they'll actually do the entire lease and they'll pay it off.
I suppose. And when you think about I think it's $20 more if you you get a phone on contract versus bringing your own phone. So that really only takes it down to an extra $15 if you do that leasing thing. So it'll be interesting to see what's going on with that.
The bigger thing I think is interesting on this is the fact that they'll be following Apple on this one, which will be the first time Samsung has had to follow Apple on something in a long time.
Well,
Despite what
I
you
mean,
hear about
if it's a good business decision, then
it's a good
business decision. I mean,
it's something we talk about in all our entrepreneur circles. Is it's enough about getting one sale, but if you can get a guaranteed sale, that's why memberships work the best, right? You know, people love the business model of the gym membership because chances are you're paying for something and not using it, right? They're looking for that opportunity to get revenue even though you're not going to use it. So anyways, it's just interesting as a business model, seeing as somebody else, because we know we're going to hear every out in the dog going, oh, Samsung's copying Apple.
Well, at least they admit it. So let's move on. The Pebble has got now a Pebble Time round, and we're talking, Rob was talking about this. He's a big Pebble fan. What do you guys think? Round.
I saw the square version. It's beautiful. I prefer square. I think it's cooler, but a lot of people like round.
I think it depends. I like rectangular watches as well.
It would depend on the style.
Yeah. These round ones look very nice. I got nothing else.
It's good to have a choice.
Yes. And I believe the thing with the Pebble is that the battery lasts a very long time. So, you know, to have a choice in styles is nice.
Yeah, the e-ink display. But I think what's the cool thing what people keep telling me about Pebbles is the fact that it's a little more customizable. That the recipes you can make for them, like it becomes quite the industry to make. What is, like, now everybody talks about, like, what did you do on your Pebble watch to do this? You know, I've done mine to do this, and that. So whereas, you know, Android Wear is a little more constrictive than you consider a typical Android device, where it is very stoic. Mine might look exactly like Savon's, but a different back, right, and different face.
Right.
Whereas, you know, with the Pebble, you can actually do a little more customization, but still, interesting.
Oh. Okay, and the last one, Savon, you got an update for your...
Yeah, 2 days ago, my Oppo N3 got an update to ColorOS version 2.1. It's still KitKat based, so a little bit disappointing for some people. Personally, I don't care. I actually love KitKat, and I like it more than the Lollipop ColorOS I have on the R7 Plus. I just don't like the way the notifications and the volume are kind of interconnecting and depend on each other. I still didn't get it, you know? I still don't understand it since I got the update on my Nexus 7. The whole thing still is not clear to me. So KitKat was very, very simple. I have exposed framework. Everything works. So personally, I don't care for Lollipop, but some people are disappointed that it's still on Lollipop. But it works amazing. It's very fast, very snappy. I would say even snappier than the R7 Plus. I really love that phone, and it works really well. The new version is optimized. It's supposed to be more efficient and faster. So I recommend updating.
Well, and I think you hit upon something really important there, is that the phone works on the operating system that it's on. Like, you know, when they get optimized, they're working well with what they have. So it's not, you know, it's not upgrading just for the sake of upgrading.
That's what I feel. Some people just want the update for the sake of the update, you know, without reason. It just works.
And you just love your phone, which is great.
My phones, because I still use both. I use the R7 Plus outside of the house. The battery is just amazing. It lasts all day. I love the big screen. I don't touch my tablet anymore. It's 6-inch, so I read all my books, and I do everything on it. The camera is really great for selfies. The M3 is unbeatable. You won't find a phone that's better on selfies than the M3.
Well, there you have it, folks. If you're into selfies, you want to get the Oppo N3.
Definitely.
Okay, well, I think that wraps up. We have a whole pile of reviews on, so we were going to talk a little bit about what we have. So we have a Moto X Play.
Oh, yes. I have this. I've had it for a few days now. So, pretty cool. That 3600 milliamp hour battery, it lasts a long time. After that rapid charge, it was pretty impressive about how quick it actually charges up. Other than that, there's nothing really a lot that really stands out about the Moto X Play. Obviously, this isn't the flagship line because it doesn't have actually this speaker up here. This is just the earpiece. So when I'm listening to music, it's only coming out of the bottom one, so that's pretty much like the G line, etc. So that's the only downside to it. I mean, otherwise, it's a little thicker than I'm used to, but a pretty nice phone. And again, I think Motorola's been really good at optimizing their phone for the device it has. Really, like we saw with the X8 chip. So it's doing quite well. I kind of like it. Again, it's not my phone. It's not really one I'm used to. But there really isn't a differentiating factor between this and, let's say, last year's Moto X Play like that, or Moto X, the last version. Just the fact that the battery's bigger. I would like to have seen something a little more different than that. But they did send it to me with the rapid charger that if you bought it in Canada, it doesn't come with. So if you don't get it, you have to buy the rapid charger for like $50 or something, or get one like for $20 on Amazon, like the iClever one I just reviewed. So you can check that out. I will have a review for this probably by next weekend. I've got a few other reviews I want to get off the plate before I get into that one. But if you have any questions about the X Play, let me know.
Okay, well, and then I got the Google On Hub. I think I mentioned last Wednesday that I was getting it. And it's a pretty interesting device. We have a few little hiccups. One is our printer won't connect to it, so we have to have the wireless on we have to keep the wireless on for our old router. But other than that, it's kind of cool because our internet has been kind of crappy lately, and we can just look at the nice light on the router and see that, yes, our internet is crappy. I mean, what more could you want? It's going to be interesting to see how it adds functionality. I did phone Google to get some help with setup because of the printer, and they were really helpful. They couldn't resolve the problem, but it was nice to talk to somebody about it. So they do have good customer support if you have a problem with that. Brian got a whole bunch of stuff from iClever that he's going to be, he talked quickly about the rapid charge, and you got a keyboard as well. Just flip that up there, and while you're showing that, also show the reversible micro USB, which you said is really cool.
I love that keyboard. I just gotta say, I love that keyboard. So I got a pair of these, reversible, micro USB cables, which we've heard of the Znaps or whatever they are, right, coming out. That's coming out. But so I bought these on Banggood. I think they were like $10, and you got 3 of them. So pretty decent price. And yeah, it works. You plug it in that way, you pull it out, and then you can plug it in that way. Cool. It's a little tight. I don't know if it's just because it's new, or just a matter of the plug isn't exactly made for that kind of stuff. But that'd be cool to play with, and like I said, makes it a little easier. Hopefully someday we don't have to worry about directional of input, right? So. And
you were saying that cable does work with the rapid charger, so that's kind of a nice feature.
Yeah. So.
And you got a tablet to review?
Yes, so I just got the Grand X View tablet. They just announced this today, available on Bell or Virgin because it is LTE enabled. So you can pop the back off here and put an LTE chip. I want to test to see if it is going to be unlocked. I have to borrow my wife's SIM card from Rogers to see if I can put another SIM card in it. Because I would like to try to see if I can get that Sugar Mobile, SIM chip, or a Mobile, or I could put a T-Mobile if I'm traveling next weekend to the States. And it'd be nice to be able to take that with me and see if it works while I'm in the States.
That'd be cool.
Because when I go to the States, I don't really want to put a SIM card on my phone and change my phone number. It'd be nice to put it in something separately, and I don't have to worry about bringing one of my other devices.
Are you with Rogers?
I'm with Bell.
Okay.
So my chip will work on it, no problem. But I'll try my wife's phone on it just to see if it would work.
Rogers gives for $12 a month a chip for a SIM card for tablets.
I think Bell does for $5 or something like that.
But you have to share your data, or is it?
Share your data, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's like Bell's is $5.
I might do that. I don't know. We'll see. I don't get to keep this one, unfortunately. But I mean, it'd be nice to try it out for a couple weeks to see. I would want to try. I would like to really try one of those Roam chips and see how it works when you're traveling in the States. I've never really used a tablet with an LTE chip in it. So it's interesting to see. I've always said I wouldn't be doing that. I don't really see the big advantage of it. But I still want to give it a try. We'll see. Interesting about this, I will say before I go on, the default launcher it comes with, which is weird because ZTE is usually untouched in terms of its AOSP, doesn't have a app drawer. No app drawer. So, when I install an app, it just appears in another window, and it just acts like an iPad essentially that way. But still, a solid device, heavy, but feels premium, like premium back. Nice looking display, very nice colors. A little thick on the bezels, but then I can play games on it or something. We'll play Minecraft on it. So yeah, that's the tablet. So if you have any questions about that, by all means, let me know. I can make sure I factor it into my my review.
What's the price of this tablet?
Sorry?
What's the price of this tablet?
It's $240.
Yep.
Outright, or you can go get it for $10 a month on a 2-year plan.
Yep.
So that's a pretty good price for an LTE-enabled tablet, for sure.
Way cheaper than Nexus 7.
And you know what? For 24 months at $10 a month, it comes to the exact same price.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. It's not some sort of weird math they come up with. Well, it's $12.78 a month.
Actually, I think most of their stuff now is pretty straightforward for the math. I think that was one of the things they had to be. And then finally, the Roku TV. Ryan, you have that as well.
Yeah, so I'll have that review done by this weekend. I'll probably have to get that back to the guy, too. So we talked about Chromecast, and so that one of the big leaders in this streaming boxes right now is Roku. And I've kind of shied away from Roku for the longest time, but Roku has got a pretty big market. And what's neat about this is that it has Roku built into the TV. It's built by Insignia. So everything is appified. Essentially, think of a huge tablet that you hit one button and it brings you to your cable. Hit another button, it brings me to the Nexus player. I select this app and it brings me straight to Netflix. Bring this app and there's something like 1,400 different streaming channels you can get from Roku and add in. You can get a Kung Fu channel. You can get some you pay for, some you don't pay for. What's really cool, because Roku makes an app, so on my phone I can use my phone as my remote. Not just because I have the infrared port, it's because I can actually just swipe up. Let's launch this app on the TV, and it'll by the Wi-Fi it'll connect to it, and I can control everything with that. And I think if I got to keep something like this is where every device in our house would have the app, and I would never have to worry about where is that frickin' remote. This remote turns on the TV, but not the DVD player, and this one does the PVR. I would just have.
Well, and I think maybe that's why Samsung is going away from the IR blaster as well. There's so many things that are all going to be on the same network that things to think about. Anyways, we have gone a little over and sort of ended up talking about cool new stuff in our lives, tech stuff. And so let's wrap it up. Anybody got some closing comments?
Just to say that I'm still working on my R7 Plus review. I just didn't have a lot of time to play with the camera, so I'm still trying it out. And they have the manual mode, just like the LG G4. So I still want to play with it a bit more before my review. So
Well, that sounds good. And we have a lot of really cool stuff on the site, so do drop by. There's a lot of different articles up there that you might enjoy.
You can always subscribe by emails. If you want to go visit Facebook, Twitter, Google+, wherever, you can actually go in there and sign up via email and get it in your inbox.
Okay, well, so let's all say goodnight.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Yep. See you, everybody. Ciao.